What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? What it do? I hope everyone had an amazing day today. Welcome to Rants with Ray. My name is Rainice Mitchell, and um, today I was under the weather. I definitely felt like it was a spiritual attack. Um, and the only reason I'm getting on here and sharing that with you all is because I feel like other people may be experiencing the same thing, um, or just experiencing spiritual warfare in different ways. And I just want to say, whenever things are happening that are out of your control, it's best to just be still. It's best to be still and allow God to lead you on what to do next. Because when we rush into things and go against our better judgment, and just make decisions out of desperation, it can lead to more chaos and destruction. So, in times of chaos in the midst of your wilderness, it's best to be still. Be still. Because I mean, when it's nothing else for you to do, it's kind of like you're gonna stress yourself out about the same thing over and over. It's just kind of like you got to get to a point where you gotta let it go and let God. Literally, you have to really just turn your mind off, and that's when you really see in time, especially if you're in a season of isolation where it's you against you and you're battling your mind, the thoughts that's popping up in your mind. You really see just how much control you have over your mind. So in the moments where it's seeming difficult or just seeming like too much and everything you're doing is not working, or the different things that you're trying seem to make the situation even worse, it's best to just be still and trust God and just go with the flow of what's going on. Because sometimes when we try to help or do what we normally would do or do what we think would make the situation better, we could actually be making it so much more worse. Because when you're in a transformation period and the old you is dying so the new you can live, it's going to be a very uncomfortable space. You're going to be in a space of like, it's like you've let go a lot of the old, but you haven't really figured out what's new just yet. So you're just in this period where it just seems like you're stagnant, and stuck. And it seems like it's dragging, and you've been there for a long time. And I get it. Some days are definitely longer than others, but you just gotta, on those days where it just seems like it's harder, some of them days, you just gotta really just relax and go with the flow. Stop trying to figure everything out and really just take some deep breaths, um, meditate, or go to sleep. Like, on them days where you just really stressing, go to sleep. When it's nothing else you can do and you're just an overthinker, take your ass to bed, okay? Sometimes you really just gotta rest it off, because it could be so much going on to where it have your mind just on a roller coaster and have you feeling like you about to go insane. And I mean, you're going to drive yourself insane about something you can't physically fix yourself in your own hands at that moment. For what? that's not going to fix the situation. It's not going to make it better. So you might as well do the opposite of what you always do, or what you always would do, and do something different. Do the opposite, or do something different. Don't resort to the things of the past, because old habits or old ways of thinking aren't going to be able to guide you in this next season. That's why it feels so uncomfortable, because you're used to being able to resort to certain things to be able to numb the pain, or to soothe the depression, but it's like even that isn't working anymore. Like, you know, you may have certain vices that you may use, but those vices just aren't working anymore. And what I'm hearing is it's because you've elevated, God has elevated you to a level where you vibrate on a higher frequency than those substances that you used to resort to make you feel better. So now, whenever you try to resort back to those substances, they bring you down lower and make you feel worse, versus before they used to make you feel better. But now it's like it's not working like how it used to. And it's because you are becoming a new version of yourself. And as you go through this cocoon phase of God rebirthing you, it's going to be uncomfortable. It is. And some days are going to be a little, you know let me just say, some days will be easier than others. But all in all, you just got to trust the process. This is where faith applied is going to be going into works. You got to really trust that God is not going to leave you out there in the dust like that, and He'll never put too much on you that you can bear. And I know that sounds kind of cliche right now in this moment, where it may feel like, excuse my language, but bitch, this shit is hard. Okay, this it's hard. It's a lot going on, cause I don't know. I'm like, God dang, these first 3 months been like Armageddon. I'm like, what the fuck? So I know some of you are like, girl, don't come on here preaching some BS. I get it. I get it. Okay, but at the end of the day, even in the midst of the storm, you still got to realize and be grateful that God has protected you from so much that you don't even know about. You've been shielded from stuff you can't even see, because you were completely unaware. So you got to just try to find the beauty in it all. You got to find the beauty in the chaos, because that's what's going to help the process move along a lot faster anyway. And when you choose to focus on what you're grateful for, on the things that God has saved you from, it puts you in a place of gratitude, worship, and just overall out of that depression state. When you go back to the things that God has done for you before, it it'll make you feel better, because it'll confirm for you that you're not alone, that you're gonna get out of this season, that it's not gonna always be like this. And that's why it's good to journal every day, or at least every other day, because when you journal, you can go back at later times when you're feeling down and look back on those days where God, did some significant things in your life, and it can give you the encouragement you may need in that moment. Because I'm telling you right now, we're moving in times where you you got to be able to encourage yourself. You got to be able to everybody gonna have to do the work for themselves. And by that I mean, ain't no more going to grandma, auntie them, and your pastor them to get to God no more for you. We're moving into times where you're going to have to cultivate your own relationship with God. And I'm not saying that people won't be able to pray and intercede on your behalf. No, I'm not saying that at all. But you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to seek God out for yourself. You won't be able to try to get somebody else to do the work for you. And some of you are in that place where you've been having to seek God out for yourself. And it hasn't felt good. And that's okay. That's understandable. It don't be feeling good in the beginning. It don't. But guess what? It gets better. It gets better. It does. It does get better. And it's working with God is a partnership. You're building a relationship. You can't treat this relationship with God like he's a genie and you only deal with him when you need something. So you rubbing on the jar, getting on your knees to pray when you want something. And it's like, no. And God ain't going to just bless you with stuff just because you just now deciding to seek him out. It don't work like that. Everything has to be genuine and it's going to happen in due time. And part of the fruits of God is long suffering. So just know that this time won't last forever. This is temporary, and you will make it out of this wilderness season. This wilderness will not swallow you up. It is just, you're in the last stages of your wilderness before he pushes you into this next phase of your life. So, in the midst of the turmoil, in the midst of the frustration, try to find the beauty in it all. Try to find the gratitude and just stay in a place of gratitude because you are so close. You're so close to your breakthrough. And the enemy wants to throw you off your pivot and make you turn around when you're 2 steps away because he's angry that the battle is already won. So you got to know and believe that if you're in this situation, then God is going to make a way for you out. God is going to make a way for you to get out. And in the meantime, I would suggest just praying for strength during these times, strength to endure, and wisdom on what to do while you're in this position, and patience so you can be in a place of peace and understanding while you are still in these last phases of your wilderness. And watch how most times when we go into prayer angry or upset, I promise you're going to leave out of prayer feeling much better than when you left. So just know that everything takes time. I do want to say one more thing. I feel like us in this new generation, we be wanting microwave results where everything happens so fast and we want to pray for something today and get it tomorrow. And we gotta learn, like, there's a process to everything. And if we just received everything so quickly, we wouldn't appreciate it. Hell, we barely appreciate the things that we slaved for. So imagine if we attained everything we wanted right when we wanted it. The value in it wouldn't equate to the same when you actually um, have to be patient for that thing. So just know that God knows best, and God is doing some major things in your life, and your life is about to completely change. But right now, in this moment, it's best to be still and trust that God is taking the wheel in your life and going to lead you in your own lane where it will lead you to prosperity, peace, and abundance in every area of your life. I love you, but God loves you so much more. I pray this message bless you guys just as much as it blessed me. And just know in moments where it's tough and it's frustrating and overwhelming and you're stressed out, go to God because you're not alone and God can hear you. Even when you're angry, go to Him and just ask for a peace that surpasses all understanding and ask Him to remove these heavy burdens from your cup. And I'm telling you, God will move. But just know it's already done. The battle is already won. And your life is about to get ready to change. God just wants you to be still and trust in this moment. It's time to sleep within the storm. So that's what I'm about to get ready to do. Sleep through the storm. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, y'all. Good night.